What's up guys and welcome back to my channel. The UFC is reportedly considering a permanent increase to its post-fight bonuses beginning in 2026, marking a potential shift in the promotion's approach to fighter pay incentives. Historically, UFC President Dana White has resisted public calls to raise bonuses, often emphasizing performance-based merit rather than reactionary increases. However, the organization's financial landscape is evolving rapidly, prompting renewed discussions about fighter compensation. This conversation gained traction following reports that the UFC secured a landmark $7.7 billion broadcasting deal with Paramount. With such a significant influx of revenue, White has hinted that some of the profits could be allocated to fighters through structured and permanent increases to post-fight bonuses. Unlike previous one-off bonuses, which were often influenced by public pressure, the new model would aim to reward athletes consistently and sustainably, reflecting the promotion's growth and financial stability. White's past experiences have shaped his cautious stance. Earlier this year, UFC 304 saw the standard $50,000 post-fight bonus temporarily doubled to $100,000 after public calls from fighters like Bobby Green. Despite the increase, White described the event as underwhelming, with only 5 of 14 fights ending in finishes, which he labeled a flat and forgettable night. That incident reinforced his belief that spontaneous bonus hikes do not necessarily enhance fighter performance or urgency, and he vowed to avoid reactionary decisions in the future. Nevertheless, the scale of the new media rights deal has reopened the conversation. White emphasized that long-term, strategic bonus increases make more sense than impulsive rewards. Even modest adjustments could translate into millions of dollars in additional earnings for fighters over time. With average viewership reportedly exceeding 6 million and peaking near 9 million, the UFC is now better positioned to reward athletes while continuing to attract audiences on major networks. As fan engagement grows and revenue opportunities expand, the promotion appears increasingly open to evolving its bonus structure in a sustainable and impactful way. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Moving on to another news. The build-up to the interim lightweight title fight at UFC 324 between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje has been unusually calm and respectful, a notable departure from the intense trash talk and heated rivalries typically surrounding high-stakes UFC bouts. Pimblett, the rising star, has consistently approached the matchup with measured respect, openly acknowledging Gaethje as a proven veteran and one of the most dangerous fighters in the division. Rather than resorting to personal attacks or inflammatory comments, Pimblett has highlighted Gaethje's impressive career and accomplishments, demonstrating a maturity beyond his years. Despite this respect, Pimblett's confidence remains unwavering. He has clearly communicated his intentions inside the octagon, emphasizing a strategy of relentless pressure designed to overwhelm Gaethje. Pimblett has even suggested that a knockout is a realistic outcome, reflecting his belief that his aggressive and high-paced fighting style could dictate the fight from start to finish. His approach exemplifies a careful balance between honoring Gaethje's legacy and asserting his own emergence as a top contender in the lightweight division. Gaethje, meanwhile, has taken an even more businesslike approach. In recent interviews, the highlight has focused primarily on training, preparation, and self-improvement, keeping his comments about Pimblett minimal and professional. He has hinted at enhancements to his wrestling game, suggesting that fans might see a more well-rounded version of himself, including the potential for takedowns to complement his signature striking. This interim title is being contested due to undisputed lightweight champion Ilia Topuria stepping away on an indefinite hiatus for family reasons. The expectation is that the interim champion will eventually unify the belt with Topuria upon his return. However, if Topuria's absence extends or results in a vacated title, the interim belt could be elevated to undisputed status. In that scenario, Arman Tsarukyan, widely regarded as the division's top contender, would finally earn a long-awaited title shot. Daniel Cormier recently weighed in on the division, praising Tsarukyan's activity, skill, and physical attributes. While Pimblett and Gaethje are both elite fighters, Cormier believes a future matchup between Tsarukyan and Topuria could define the lightweight division for years to come, highlighting its size, strength, and intensity as a potential clash of champions. Moving on to another news. The rivalry between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev has officially escalated into one of the most intense and personal conflicts in modern mixed martial arts. What initially began as standard promotional banter has quickly developed into a deeply heated feud, with each exchange amplifying the tension between the two elite fighters. The conflict ignited when Topuria suggested that Makhachev's potential move toward the welterweight division was motivated by fear, implying that Islam was avoiding a matchup with him. Instead of retracting the comment, Topuria doubled down, confidently asserting that he could defeat Makhachev, and even claiming he could handle him in a street fight. These remarks immediately drew Makhachev's attention and set the stage for a war war of words. Makhachev responded by advising Topuria to focus on defending his own lightweight title rather than calling him out, but this only fueled the rivalry. Days later, Topuria intensified the feud by claiming he would submit Makhachev and further ignited tensions by referencing Khabib Nurmagomedov in a provocative statement. The exchange pushed the rivalry beyond conventional promotional hype into genuinely personal territory, signaling that this was no longer just a marketing battle. In interviews, Makhachev addressed the situation directly, indicating that Topuria had crossed a line with his constant verbal attacks. Islam hinted that if the two were ever to meet, the confrontation might not remain strictly verbal, leaving the possibility of a physical encounter open, whether inside the octagon or otherwise. The feud took an unexpected real-world turn when Makhachev's teammate, UFC flyweight Tagir Ulanbekov, reportedly confronted Topuria in Dubai near a busy mall. According to Ulanbekov, he demanded answers regarding Topuria's repeated street fight remarks and public provocations. While security and bystanders prevented the situation from escalating physically, heated words and threats were exchanged, demonstrating that the rivalry now extends beyond the fighters themselves and has real-world implications. This ongoing tension has made the Topuria-Makhachev feud one of the most compelling storylines in MMA today, with fans eagerly watching to see how it will ultimately unfold. Moving on to another news, former UFC fighter and analyst Josh Thompson recently provided an in-depth breakdown of a high-stakes middleweight clash set for UFC 326, where Reinier de Ridder is scheduled to face Caio Borralho in Las Vegas on March 7. This matchup carries significant implications for a division that is quickly shaping up as the title picture becomes increasingly clear. At the top of the middleweight division, Khamzat Chimaev is preparing for a spring title defense against Nassourdine Imavov. With that championship bout on the horizon, the next tier of contenders is already positioning themselves for a potential title opportunity. Fighters like Sean Strickland and Anthony Fluffy Hernandez remain firmly in the mix, with the winner of their upcoming matchup widely expected to move closer to a championship shot. Despite Chimaev's dominance, uncertainty continues to surround his long-term plans at middleweight. Recently, he indicated that after a single title defense, he aims to pursue champ-champ status, potentially moving up to light heavyweight or even returning to welterweight, where he asserts he can still make 170 pounds. The intrigue surrounding Chimaev's future becomes even greater if Kamaru Usman regains the welterweight title in 2026, setting the stage for a highly anticipated champion versus champion rematch. Their first encounter was an explosive 3-round battle that left fans clamoring for a full 5-round sequel. From the UFC's perspective, a Chimaev double champ run would be monumental, especially with the organization entering a new era under its Paramount broadcast deal. Turning to de Ridder versus Borralho, Thompson praised the fight as both timely and necessary. Both fighters are coming off losses after being highly regarded prospects pushing toward the upper echelon of the division. De Ridder, previously ranked near the top, recently fell to Brendan Allen, while Borralho has proven himself to be a dangerous and versatile competitor. Thompson highlighted Borralho's striking and ground skills, noting that he is unlikely to be overwhelmed by de Ridder's wrestling, which he described as solid but not elite. De Ridder's clinch work, however, remains a key asset, with both athletes having sufficient time to prepare, recover, and navigate challenging weight cuts. This bout represents a critical juncture in their careers. According to Thompson, consistent activity and focused performance qualities de Ridder has demonstrated are often essential for long-term growth and success at the elite level of the middleweight division. Moving on to another news, Belal Muhammad has reignited his long-standing rivalry with Colby Covington, bringing the potential matchup back into the spotlight after several years of tension. Following an extended layoff from UFC competition, Muhammad recently returned to action outside the octagon, competing under the Real American Freestyle RAF banner. Although he suffered a loss to David Carr at RAF 4, the setback did little to diminish his competitive drive or his commitment to testing himself against elite opponents. Instead of dwelling on the result, Muhammad has embraced opportunities to stay active and sharpen his skills, regardless of the rule set. Whether in UFC competition or grappling events, he has emphasized the importance of staying sharp and continuously challenging himself. This philosophy has naturally rekindled the conversation around his rivalry with Covington, though this time Muhammad is targeting a contest under the Real American Freestyle format. Stripping away the striking and focusing solely on wrestling and grappling, this setting would offer a fresh dimension to a rivalry that has been largely defined by verbal exchanges and UFC bouts. In a recent YouTube video, Muhammad reflected on his RAF experience, noting that while he did not secure a victory, he relished the challenge of competing against top-tier opposition and delivering an entertaining performance for fans. Looking ahead, he pointed to Covington's upcoming RAF matchup against Luke Rockhold in Miami this January, expressing interest in facing the winner. Muhammad framed the potential contest as both a test of skill and an opportunity to confront an opponent he has long criticized, taking a clear verbal shot at Covington in the process. With Covington's RAF appearance approaching, the possibility of a Muhammad vs. Covington showdown outside the UFC is now more tangible than ever. Such a matchup would provide fans with a fresh perspective on a rivalry years in the making, shifting the battleground from the octagon to the wrestling mat. For Belal, it represents another chance to measure himself against elite competition, while continuing to build his legacy beyond traditional MMA competition. Moving on to another news, former UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker is seriously contemplating a move up to the light heavyweight division, a decision that could represent a major new chapter in his career. The Australian veteran is currently coming off a challenging stretch, having suffered 2 consecutive losses. His recent run includes a first-round submission defeat to Khamzat Chimaev, followed by a closely contested split decision loss to Reinier de Ridder. With momentum stalled, Whittaker appears open to exploring new opportunities as he plans the next phase of his journey in the octagon. Speaking candidly about his future, Whittaker expressed a strong desire to return to competition next year, ideally around the middle of the calendar. While his motivation remains high, he acknowledged that he has not yet finalized the specifics of his comeback, whether in terms of timing, opponent, or weight class. In recent months, he has focused on skill development and refining different aspects of his game, signaling that fans could witness an evolved version of Whittaker when he returns to competition. One of the most compelling revelations was Whittaker's openness to leaving the middleweight division behind. He admitted that he has been seriously playing with the idea of moving up to light heavyweight, noting that his body has naturally grown larger over time, and the strain of making 185 pounds is no longer as appealing. While critics may argue that his height puts him at a disadvantage in the new division, Whittaker confidently dismissed these concerns. He pointed out that throughout his career, he has consistently faced taller opponents with longer reach, even at middleweight. From his perspective, any physical disadvantage at light heavyweight would be no different from what he has already navigated successfully. Testing himself in a new weight class, he believes, could offer both personal and professional growth without compromising performance. For now, Whittaker emphasized that no final decision has been made. The move to light heavyweight remains a consideration rather than a concrete plan, with the final choice left to next year's Rob. Nevertheless, the possibility alone adds a fascinating layer of intrigue to the future of one of the UFC's most respected and accomplished veterans. Moving on to another news, UFC legend Quinton "Rampage" Jackson delivered a Christmas surprise that his son will never forget, gifting him a brand new Audi R8 in a moment that quickly went viral across social media. The emotional exchange captured both the shock and sheer excitement of the occasion, highlighting Rampage's larger-than-life personality and his dedication as a father. In the video, Jackson casually unveils the gift before his son fully comprehends what is in front of him. As the reality sinks in, disbelief turns into pure exhilaration. Rampage enthusiastically explains that the supercar is an Audi R8 powered by a V10 engine, noting that it surpasses his own previous V8 model. He points out the carbon fiber accents and emphasizes the car's speed and power, making it clear that this is no ordinary vehicle. Even amid the extravagance, Rampage underscores responsibility. He reminds his son to handle the car with care, highlighting its potent performance. When asked whether he can drive it freely, Rampage humorously but firmly responds that he is keeping one of the keys for himself. The moment blends humor, parental guidance, and pride, showcasing a personal and relatable side of the former UFC champion. Adding an emotional layer, Rampage revealed that the gift was a promise he made years ago, fulfilling a commitment to his son from childhood. This detail transforms the luxury car into more than a material present. It becomes a symbol of long-term dedication, love, and success. The celebration continues as Rampage hops into the car with his son, joking about having to move his Sprinter van before taking it for a drive. This lighthearted interaction capped off an unforgettable moment, demonstrating a perfect balance of excitement, humor, and fatherly care. The gesture has since captured widespread attention online, with fans praising Rampage not only for his generosity but also for the authentic father-son bond on display. Moments like these show that even in the world of elite athletes and supercars, genuine family connections remain the most memorable gifts of all.